Yes, let me just start this day. Welcome, all of you. Today, what we are going to discuss is very, very critical for our communication journey. We all want to become fluent, but beyond a fluency, what is also required is how do we interact with people in such a way that the first impression is the best impression? Because it is said that you get only one chance to create your first best impression, right? And that should be your best investment. And if you know a little bit of tips and tricks on this topic, you can actually make a first impression which will be very, very nice. You'll be accepted by the people alike, and you'll be able to cast a favorable spell on those people. So there are so many good books which have been written on this topic. So Lyle Lowndes has written a particular book, How to Talk to Anybody, 92 Little Tricks. If you read that particular book, you'll be getting 92 small tricks about the entire trade of how do you impress somebody in the first meeting, how do you talk to people, how do you talk to strangers, how do you impress them, all of that. Then we have Chris Widener, who has written this book, How to Talk to Anybody, Anytime and Anywhere. And then we have Exactly What to Say. This is a book by Phil M. Jones. So these are some of the world's best books on which we are going to discuss. We have compiled some points for you so that you can go and start implementing these small tips and tricks. And when you do that, you'll be able to cast a very favorable impression on the person you're interacting with for the first time, even if it's for the first time. But the first concept over here that we want to highlight is the concept of flooding smile. Now, it's very, very important that when you meet somebody, you should be showing your particular warmth toward that particular person, that you are enjoying their company. Okay, but it should not be a common smile for everybody. You cannot be smiling at everybody who is coming. It should be genuine. And how do you create that genuine smile? It should be felt as if that particular flooding smile is coming only for the person. So suppose there are five people in the room. We have Gazanfar, we have Hina, we have Yamshi, we have Shreya. And when I look at Gazanfar for the first time, I have a smile which is absolutely different for the smile which I had for other people in the room. Then Gazanfar will actually start feeling that, yes, I am somebody special. So you have to make people feel special. And this is one of the methods which you can do. So don't keep your smile common for everybody. Let it be special for somebody who you want to impress. And when you can do that, pull off that clearly, it's a very, very wonderful way to cast the first impression. This is how you cast a first impression very, very beautifully. The second concept that we can use from these best books in the world, this is the second trick that you can use, is the concept of sticky eyes. Now, eyes are very, very important in any form of communication. You would have heard that for any kind of an interview or interacting with somebody, your eyes play a very vital role. You have to look at the people, don't stare at them, but look at them. There is a concept of sticky eyes, right? It's basically means that, imagine, I'm so impressed. I'm giving you a feeling that I'm so impressed by you that I'm not able to move my eyes from you. If somebody is talking to you and the other person is not interested, it is visible through the eyes, and it is through the eyes only you can tell the other person that whatever you are speaking, whatever we are interacting, I'm very much into this conversation, and I'm very much listening to you, and I'm impressed by you. How you can do that? Through your eyes. So you have to ensure that the other person who is listening to you is absolutely engrossed into you. And how can you do that? By just sticking your eyes to the other person. Now, there is a concept of epoxy eyes also. It means the epoxy means something like a kind of a love relationship. Suppose you have a fiance, suppose you have your girlfriend, boyfriend, your wife, your spouse, somebody, then what do? Your eyes get stuck to the other person. Just imagine. So when you give that feeling to the other person that you are very much important in this entire conversation, and I'm so impressed by each and every word. I want to listen to each and every word. I'm so impressed that I'm not able to move my eyes to any other person in the room. That shows, that's a very, very powerful message to impress any stranger for the first time if you want to impress them, right? So that's a trick that you can use. Now, the third concept is the concept of a baby pivot. So what is basically this? One is that when you're meeting somebody for the first time, and if you want to show your interest toward that particular person, you have to move in the direction of that person. So you cannot be meeting the person and your head is tilted on the left hand side or right hand side. You have to turn totally towards that particular person. You have to meet him straight on, head on, 90-degree angle, right? It cannot be some other angle, because that will not show that you're interested in the person. So how do you show your interest? These are small tricks that you should be doing, which can actually help you cast a very favorable impression. So just like a baby, if the baby is interested towards you, if the baby will keep on moving towards you, you have to move your body, entire body, towards the person who is, important for you, with on whom you want to cast a spell, on whom you want to actually impress, give your first best impression. Now, the fourth concept that we use over here is the concept of limiting the fidget. It's very important that when you're interacting with somebody, you are not playing with your hair, you're not playing with your eyebrows, you're not playing with your mustache or your hair, or your dress or your rings. It's very, very important that we limit the number of fidgeting that we're doing, limit the kind of interactions that we're doing with our body, because you should be showing that you are listening to the other person 100%, and that can be done only when you are totally engrossed into it, you're totally absorbed into that particular topic, and this can be limited by limiting your fidgeting. Now, it has been shown, it has been proved multiple number of times that many people have lost interviews. If you go to an interview, if you go to a particular what to say television particular appearance, and if you're fidgeting, if you're actually playing with your hair or with your that people don't take you seriously, you're not counted as somebody who is reliable. If you're playing with all these things, with your hand, with your dress, or with your ring, or with your maybe nails or something, you just cannot do that. It's very, very important. Now, what is also important is the concept of matching the mood. Now, what is matching the mood? Basically, you cannot go and talk to somebody. Suppose I go to and talk to somebody who is not in a very good mood today, and I start giving him all these positive vibrations. He's not in a good mood, and I'm talking very enthusiastically, very passionate about my goals, my dreams, my thing. He will not be connected to me. So first thing first, what I have to do is I have to go and match his mood first. If he's in a negative zone, first I have to enter and bring him into a positive zone, and then I can tell him something positive. On the other hand, if somebody is in a positive mood and you go and talk something negative over here, you will again not be taken in the right sense. So always try to find out. That is called the concept of prediction. You have to find out from the body language, from their face, from their body gestures, whether they are in which particular mood, and depending upon that mood, you have to match the mood. That's a very, very important concept you have to use when talking to strangers for the first time, right? Then there is a very important concept of matching and mirroring. So if you look at this particular picture, it's showing that Barack Obama and this other president are just trying to match each other. They're just trying to mirror each other, copy each other. Why is that being done? It's very, very important concept in communication. Now, communication is not just about the words. The words that I'm speaking right now is only 7%. The rest 93% depends on your physiology, it means in the terms of appearance, how you're looking, in terms of your body language, how you're looking, and the tonality, the voice of your tone. So matching and mirroring is a neuro-linguist programming that people do. And if you can match and mirror, if you can copy the other person's gestures, if you can copy the other person's uh, body language, if you can copy the other person's tone, if somebody's speaking very enthusiastically, you cannot speak low. You have to also speak enthusiastically. Then the vibration, that is called the vibe, right? The vibration, the frequency, then the frequency will start matching, and the other person will start liking you more and more. So this is a very, very important concept of matching and mirroring. Just try to match and mirror, but don't make it too obvious that the other person starts getting offended. But it has to be done in a soft way, in such a way that the other person likes you and feels that you're very comfortable. They are very comfortable interacting with you. That's a very, very important concept. Now, there is a concept of parroting. Now, parroting is a very, very important concept, and this is used as a therapy, right? So all these therapies, all these psychologists, when you go to a psychology expert, okay, a doctor of psychology, what they will be doing is they'll be repeating the last part of your sentence. So you suppose you have talked about your entire week. Okay, so my week was very, very busy and I was absolutely stressed out the entire week. What will the psychologist do? He will repeat the last particular sentence that I can understand you were very busy last week, right? So you were so stressed out. because you're working more than normal. What is the other person doing? He's just parroting the last line. So whatever last line the first person has spoken, you just have to copy that entire thing and paste it and speak the same thing out. Now, what that does to the other person who is listening, the other person who is listening feels that you are so engrossed into me. You're listening every word I'm speaking. So suppose Anna is speaking something, and she talks about the concept of she's very tired and she's stressed out. Whereas Sid who is listening says that I can understand, I can see you are stressed out. What will Anna feel? Anna will feel that he is listening to me. He's paying attention to every particular word that I'm speaking. And when you show this particular thing by repeating, by parroting, by copying the last part of the sentence, then what happens? The discussion can go on forever, and they will be feeling very comfortable discussing their problems or their nightmares with you. That's very, very important. Now, in the entire communication paradigm, what is also important to understand is that communication is all about the other person. Communication is not about me. So this particular communication, the present communication that I'm doing with you, this presentation that I'm doing with you, it's not about me. I'm not highlighting my achievements or my frustrations or my goals or my problems with you. What I'm trying to find out is how can I help you so that you can move ahead in your life. If you keep your discussions, you keep your particular way of talking or way of speaking in such a way that the other person is getting benefited, right? Then you will be a success. See, look at the way communication has been spelled over you. It has not been spelled with a U, it has been spelled with a Y-O-U with a capital. Now, what does that mean? It means the entire spotlight should be on the other person. So you don't steal the spotlight from the other person. Let the spotlight be on the other person whom you are speaking to. Let him feel important. Let him feel privileged. Let him feel, that he's the special person. He's the VVIP. If you can make him feel that, you will be a winner. Now, very important in any particular discussion, very important in any particular conversation that you're doing, you have to find out at the very beginning what is the common thing in between both of you. If you can find out commonalities, the conversation becomes very, very easy. So initial part of the discussion, if you're talking to a male for the first time and you find out that he loves cricket, then try and steer the entire conversation on cricket. So find out what is the common thing between both of you. Have you gone to the same college? Do your kids study in the same college? Or right? Do you follow sports? Do you follow cricket? What is that you follow? What is that one thing which is common? Do you both like Agatha Christie or do you both like KGF movie? What is that one thing? Try to find out the common ground. And once you have found out the common ground, then it is a matter of some questions. Go and ask more and more questions. Become interested in their goals. So if the other person likes soccer, okay, likes football, you cannot be talking to him about cricket, because then the other person will feel, what's in it for me? I'm getting bored. You cannot let that happen to the other person. So you have to just be interested in the other person's interest. That is what we talked about, right? Let the other person be in the spotlight and you become the interviewer. Ask a lot of questions. Ask a lot of questions, but on those topics in which the other person is interested. If you can do that, you'll be able to pull off a very good impression in front of a stranger, right? Then there's a concept of emotional prediction. It's very, very important that when we talk to other person, we have to understand what are their pains, what are their frustrations, and what are their goals in life, what are their dreams in life. So you have to, by your questioning attitude, you have to find out what their goals are, what their problems are, what their solutions are, what are the problems and challenges they're facing. If you can find that out, if you can actually predict that out, and that will happen through some kind of an experience. It will not happen on day one. You have to keep on doing it for some time. But when you can do it for some time, after a certain point of time, you'll find that you are able to predict with accuracy, with 80% accuracy, with 90% accuracy. And then whatever you will be telling, the other person will be listening and following your orders, following your particular words 100%. That is very, very important. And when you are ready, when the other person is ready to receive your message, you can actually pitch and it will always be a yes from the other person. That is the concept of emotional prediction. It comes after some time, but yes, it's very, very important when you're talking to strangers. So try and find out what is their goals, what are their solutions, what are their challenges. Just do that. Now, very, very important in the initial first meeting that you do with anybody. See no bloopers. So if the other person has done some mistake, right, if there's something odd that that particular person has done, just try to ignore all of that. Don't try to demean them. Don't try to bring that out and show them in a poor light. That will be negative for you. Just try to remove all those bloopers. So suppose you meet a person for the first time and he is not wearing a right matching tie with his, you cannot be pointing that out, right? If he drops a cup of tea, you cannot be making fun of that particular thing. If you do that, once again, it's a very big negative. So avoid all those bloopers. Try to make him feel that he is the most important person and he has not done any mistake, right? So that will be keeping you in the positive light. The next point is about positive person. Always you have to always predict yourself. You have to always portray yourself in the positive light. You just cannot be telling that you are you are a negative particular person, and you cannot go and showcase or force your negativity on other person. You always, because people, all the people in this world have their own problems. You cannot go and add one more problem into their life. So just try and cheer people, just try and bring positivity in the room. Then you will be liked by people, then you will be liked by strangers. They will like to interact more and more with you if you are positive around other people. So very, very important point, bring your positivity. Don't bring any negativity into a new meeting, into a fresh meeting, into a talk with a new stranger. Now, avoid arguments at all costs. This is very, very important. From all the books that we have studied, that I have collected, this is a very, very important point, that you cannot be right always. Let the other person win. If you win, it is said, there's a particular saying, it says that the more arguments you win, the lesser friends you have. Very, very important. So don't try to win the argument, let the other person win the argument. Or best part, don't enter into any argument. Now there is a very big thing, very, very, what to say, uh, very important or negative thing that we keep on doing while interacting with anybody is we keep on uh, going for the me too situations. That somebody's telling a story that I had gone to Kerala and I had a phishing scam which happened into my account, and you will say, no, 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 it has happened to me too, it has happened with me too. Do not do that. This is a temptation, but do not fall into this temptation. It can be wrong if you're trying to impress the other person. Always in such situations, we have been talking about it a lot. You have to listen a lot. You have to listen 75% with your ears. You've got 2 ears and you've got only one mouth. Okay, so try and speak as little as possible, only 25%, and listen more to people. Now what you have to do is you have to empty their tanks. Imagine they have a tank of water inside of them, tank of information inside of them. Empty their tank, let every word of their mind come out, and only then you speak. If you can do that, right, if you can resist that temptation, you will be a winner in their eyes, because you have listened to them. See, we are all social human beings. We love to share our knowledge, we love to share our information. And when somebody is giving their 100% attention, we fall in love with that other person. So what is the best thing that you can do? Just let their just let their tank get empty. Whatever information that they have, whatever knowledge that they want to share, just listen to them with 100% attention. And that is when they will love you. Do not go and tell that I have also faced a certain problem. Don't interrupt them. If you do that, you will be striking a negative zone. Right now, a very important concept from the power of communication is the power of suggestions. You just cannot go and barge into somebody. You just cannot go and tell somebody that this is the right thing to do or that is the wrong thing to do. They will get offended. They will feel that you are entering into their territory. You are taking their charm out. What is the best way to do in that case is give them the power of suggestions. Give them an idea in a very negative way, that I have heard you, it is very good, but I feel if you can do it in this way, right, that is the perfect way of putting your ideas across. Don't force your ideas onto somebody. In the first meeting you have met somebody for the first time, don't force your ideas, and this is the only way in which it should be done. Nobody will like it. Look at all the advertisements. A Pepsi ad will never come and tell you go and buy me. It tells that if you drink Pepsi, you will be getting some energy in your life, you'll be making new friends, and you'll be going to parties, you'll be enjoying. That is the power of suggestion. You have to give people a suggestion. You have to just send them an idea. It's not the final one. Now, it's very, very important that we praise people. We all know this. This is the most common thing. If you want to talk to strangers for the first time, it is advised that you give them a lot of compliments, shower them with a lot of compliments, but do not give them the common compliments, right? You have to dig deep, because there is a difference between praising and flattery. If the other person understands that you're flattering them, it will be a negative. Don't do that. What you have to do is, in that case, you have to dig deep. You have to find out, you have to search for it. You have to be a detective, and you have to find out what is the good thing. You have to research more and more on the other person who is in front of you. Find out what are the things that he's doing. Personalized it. Okay, when you give that personalized particular thing, compliment about the other person, they are going to like it, they're going to appreciate it, and they're going to receive it in the positive light. Otherwise, it will be counted as a flattery. So only compliments are not important. It should be personalized. So go and talk about their kids, maybe, or go and talk about their morning routines. For that, you have to dig a little bit deeper inside of them. You have to find out something unique about them, and then go and give a compliment. Don't, and just say that you are looking beautiful. Don't just say that you are looking awesome, handsome. These are very common things, and people have heard these kind of compliments multiple number of times. Do not do that. That's a trap. Okay, so dig deep and personalize. When you can do that, you'll be getting much more people, things in your life, much more compliments from the other people, and they will be liking it. Now, the kind of the final concept that we have is your name. This is what Dale Carnegie taught in 1920s. He said that, remember that a person's name is the sweetest and the most important sound in any language. So whenever you're talking to somebody, try and use their name. Okay, more and more and more. The more you use that particular name. So if somebody is talking to me and they keep on telling, Amit, I love the way you give your presentation. Amit, I have seen your last presentation and that was really awesome. I have seen your 5 presentations, Amit. What is the other person doing? He's repeating my name again and again and again. And in that process, he is winning my trust. He's winning my favor, right? And we also talked to you about communication. The entire concept of communication, right? YOU, communication, is about using the word you. So whenever you're talking about the other person, use a lot of you, use a lot of their person's name. Then you'll be striking the record with all of them in a beautiful way. So what we have discussed today are very, very important concepts over here, which if you start using in your life, you'll be able to impress people in the very first instance. These are tricks that you can use with strangers, and you can just impress them with your initial what to say conversations that you have with them, and you can just win more at life, achieve more success in your life. That's very, very important from my side. Okay, so this time now that we move to the next agenda that we have,